Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Ticket to the Hizzy Fantasy Hockey, TITTH number 153. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I have my brother this with me, Nick Olzak. OZ, how we doing, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
Can't complain. It's been a busy start to the week. We're entering my busy season at work here, so that's going to be the regular theme going forward. A little bit delay there on the background. Sorry for that, folks. Other than that, doing good. Ready to watch some hockey. Playoffs are trimming down here. What did you think of the results? I was on the Bruins. Didn't go my way.
Yeah, the Islanders were just playing a really smart game in that series, and I saw a little bit of that in Game 1. Just some little things I saw, like on that Barzell goal. I think it was Pajot. Right when he went to go finish the hit, he hopped the boards right away. And just little stuff like that got him that win, I think. And I think they keep doing stuff like that. The Islanders will be scary, I think. And Boston, they did a good job, but I think the Islanders just did a good job shutting down the perfection line because that's where a lot of their production was coming from.
Exactly. Burned down my bracket. Had Colorado and the Boston in the finals, so I'm completely out of it. The way things are shaking up, it's probably going to be the Islanders' cup to lose, in my opinion, just because I feel like they're like, well, maybe it's the Canadians. I feel like they're the odd favorite not to win, and everything just keeps getting shaken up here as we get further and further along. So, but I'm excited to get into tonight's games with you. Let's jump into the action here. Before we get into the game preview, what do you think about our Monkey Knife Fight prop? We only have one game tonight, so we got Carey Price with 24.5 saves, tied up with Alex Pietrangelo over under 5.5 shots on goal plus blocks.
Yeah, I was looking at Carey Price's numbers before the show, and he's hit over on that 24.5, except one game in these playoffs, which was Game 4 against Winnipeg. So I think playing against a hot Golden Knights team, I think that he'll definitely see the over. And as for Pietrangelo, I again was looking at his numbers too. He's been hitting right around the over on that, so I'm going to take the over on both as well.
Yeah, Pietrangelo has actually hit this number in 4 out of his last 5 games, so he's got upside. And like you mentioned, with Price, every game but one in the playoffs so far. 24.5 is really low. They actually have adjusted it to 29.5. So this was a number that I got earlier in the day, but it just goes to show you the value that you can get playing with some props at monkeyknifefight.com. 24.5. I probably set this up about midday. It was probably about 11 o'clock or noon. If you jump in on those numbers early before they've corrected, you can get a little bit of better action. I got the number at 29.5, and I'm still taking it. So absolutely 24.5 is a 1,000% a home run. Pietrangelo, to me, there's a little bit of doubt there just because he has to mix it up between the shots and the blocks. He's not going to get it all. He's not going to hit the prop with one category. He's going to need both. So I think it'll be close, but I like the upside to hit the over. Both teams, the Golden Knights get around 32 shots on goal a game, and the Canadians get about 30. So I feel like this should be well in our wheelhouse here. As far as other props go, who do you just like to score a goal tonight? Give the folks some value at home. Either team.
I was going to say, for the Montreal Canadiens, I was going to say Nick Suzuki. I like what he's doing on that second line with Tyler Toffoli and Cole Caulfield, and I think that they're just making stuff happen. You even saw, especially in that series against Winnipeg, they were always on the puck, always scoring goals, especially in that overtime in Game 4. Cole Caulfield to Toffoli for the game winner. And it's crazy to see on that Canadiens roster, especially too, the emergence of these young guys like Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, even guys like Kotkaniemi, Lehkonen. These young guys are stepping up and they're taking shape in these playoffs. And
I'd like to see Lehkonen do a little bit more because that line one has been atrocious for Montreal.
But as for the Golden Knights, I'm going to say Chandler Stevenson tonight. I saw him today. He was playing he's listed on line 1 today, playing with Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty. And I think you've seen how those two have played in the series. I think he's bound to get something going to the net with those guys. So give me those two.
Cool. I'm going to go with Mark Stone right across from him. He's at plus 175 to hit the goal. Suzuki was plus 250, so some nice little value there from a second line center. And who'd you say the other one was? Stevenson, plus 275.
Yeah.
So some really good odds there if you guys want to lay some props. Still have plenty of time. You can check out jazzsports.com. We got a promo over there with To the Hizzy. Mark Stone's a beauty, says Donovan Hicks. Going the same way. I got him on the goal prop tonight. We'll see what we can do. Let's jump into the actual game preview itself here. Canadians going to Vegas, coming in as road dogs, plus 231 on the money line, plus 1.5 on the puck lines, paying minus 125. Over under is at 5.5 goals. Where do you like game one to go, Nick?
I was going back and forth on this one. I think you have two hot teams. Montreal's got 6 days off. And then you have this Vegas team just took down arguably one of the best teams in the regular season. So when I couldn't decide, I asked Dad. And he told, according to Dad, the Golden Knights are going to win tonight 4-2.
All right, Montreal, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hanson brothers, old time hockey over there, giving us the all the info we need. No, I'm not necessarily picking Montreal to win this game. My best pick in the game is the under 5.5 goals. The over is actually paying plus money. So if you are expecting some offense in this game, go grab that number at plus 119. But I love the under 5.5 goals, and I love Montreal at plus 1.5. Montreal's been on a tear. They're 7-0 in their last 7 games. Mind you, the competition's all been from Canada, right? They're actually going to be playing Vegas for the very first time this year. It goes both ways. It was funny. I was looking up at some of the betting websites, like the overs hit 5 out of the last 5 times. I'm like, why is this relevant? like the times they've played each other. Like they haven't played each other in over a year. They haven't played each other since last season. So this is completely new territory for us. But there are some numbers that kind of point us in that direction. First, the Montreal Canadiens penalty killing, 90% in the playoffs. Ooh. It's been beautiful. I think it's 17 out of their last 17 penalty kills. They have not allowed a power play goal in their last 7 games. Again, we need to be mindful. It was Winnipeg and Edmonton as well. So, some teams that got canned pretty quickly out of the playoffs. But at the same time, they're more defensively minded. Obviously, they've been kind of carried by Carey Price. Their defense and their fourth line has just stepped up with Stahl and Corey Perry, who have been leading the way on offense and on defense. I mentioned my complaint earlier with their line one. Brendan Gallagher, Philip Denault, and Lakeinen, like we mentioned, they're just not scoring, and I don't really know where they match up against the Golden Knights in this one. So I'm not sure if whether the line matchings and pairings are going to come from. I still like Vegas in this one, but I just don't want to pick a winner because I feel like it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be low scoring. And I still think there's a lot of upside for the Montreal Canadiens to win this one. So I am absolutely staying away from the money line. Give me the Canadiens at plus 1.5 and the under 5.5 goals here. What do you think about the team goals? If you see those there, but Montreal's only getting 1.5. You think they can at least get to 2?
Yeah, I think they can at least get to 2. I mean, they're like we just talked. You just said they're playing really good hockey. 7-0 in their last 7. And I think they haven't given up a lead since game 4 or game 3 against who was it? Toronto. And they've just been on fire. And I think, especially with this rest too, they got the 6 days off after the sweep. You'll love to see it. And I think that they're definitely going to bury at least 2 tonight.
All right, at least burying 2. I like a 3-2 game. I wouldn't hate that. Still be able to hit the under and make a little bit of money because that team prop is just so low. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a single goal prop in the playoffs so far. So that was very enticing to me. I think I want to jump in on that. Like I said, I like a 3-2 win for the Golden Knights here. But at the same time, Montreal's just been so damn good, and they've been kind of rallying to that underdog theme and that underdog story. What do you think about their chances in the series?
I mean, I think in the series, it's definitely right now I can't pick a winner. It's so close to call. Both of these teams rely on really solid goaltending, really good back ends. Both of their offenses have been pretty even on paper, I think. I think the top 6 for the Golden Knights is a little stronger, but the Montreal Canadiens combated with their production from the bottom 6 with their fourth line of Perry, Stahl, and Armia. And I think that it builds up for a really good series. And if I were to pick a winner right now, I would probably say Montreal in 7.
Man, it's hard to hate that. It's hard to hate that because honestly, I kind of want to see Montreal and the Islanders. What I like about Vegas is that they are allowing the fewest amount of shots in the playoffs at about 25 per game. If they keep that up, then there's going to be some good upside for them to take home the series. But I do expect 6 or 7 games in this one. I don't see either team going away quietly whatsoever. You know, Vegas, they're a great team 5-on-5, but they're actually 12th in the playoffs right now for power play scoring. Like I already mentioned, Montreal number 1 with a 90% kill rate at this point. So it's going to be very interesting. It's a blending of styles. You know, the offense of Vegas and the defense of Montreal. You know, which one are you going to bet on? Honestly, when it comes playoff times, I typically go with the team that has just better two-way action. But it's also tough for me to really bet Montreal with how bad they're getting, or with the lack of production that they're getting from that line 1, which is just really just driving me nuts. I think Philip Denault has like 2 points in the playoffs. 2.
Yeah.
I think Brendan Gallagher's got 3. Likanen's got 4. You know, they're getting outpaced by their fourth line. Obviously, the fourth line has a lot more experience, but this is also a team that's relying on the kind of the lack of experience and energy of that line too. And Caulfield, Suzuki, and who's the other one? Slipping my mind here.
Toffoli,
yeah. They're playing great. They're probably the best scoring line that they have right now. Toffoli, I probably should have remembered because he probably has the most points of any of them. I don't know why, but yeah, it's going to be really tough. Too tough for me to call. I'm going to say Vegas in 7, I guess. Just go the opposite, just because they do have the home ice advantage. They have a little bit of extra experience there. You know, I feel like Montreal's just got to bank on Carey Price just carrying him the whole way. If he does, hey, line him up for the Conn Smythe Award. We'll get to that in the back end of the show here. But if he does, he's going to be collecting some extra hardware other than just a Stanley Cup potentially. So, going to be an interesting one to follow. We'll see where we come back to this time next week if the series is concluded. Let's jump into our Game 2 preview for the Islanders and the Lightning. That takes place tomorrow. Right now, we're looking at the Islanders coming in as road dogs again, plus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 158 on the money line. Over under is at a flat 5 goals. What do you like out of Game 2 here? You think Tampa Bay responds?
I think Game 2. The way I think of it is they're just feeling them out. You know, it's like that scene in Rocky 4 where Drago's fighting Apollo Creed, and he's just waiting and waiting and feeling him out, and then eventually he strikes. And I think that's what Tampa's going to do. I think they needed Game 1 to be able to get their rhythm, to be able to get their feet under them. Just because, again, these teams haven't played each other all year. They don't know what to expect. The last time they played each other was in the bubble last year in the conference finals. So I think Game 1, they're just feeling them out. And I think in Game 2, Tampa, they're going to start playing their two-way hockey like they normally do. You got big Victor Hedman on the back end. They've got strong defense, and I think their offense is going to start to open up to scoring. So I'm going to take Tampa on the money line, and I'm going to go with the over on this one. I think last game went to the under, and Semyon Varlamov, I wouldn't say bailed the team out, but he played a heck of a game. But I think Tampa's going to open this game up, and it's going to go to the over.
Man, it's really tough for me to bet on it going to the over. The Islanders have just been playing such good defense. The offense are great. Sorry, someone's in the chat asking who if D's is going to score tonight. I feel like he's setting us up for a D's nuts comment, but I could be wrong. No, I like where your head's at, but I'm going the opposite. I'm going to go with the under in tomorrow's game. Tampa didn't score until they actually had an extra attacker in that last game. The Islanders were up 2-0. The Islanders are number 1 in goals against. They're number 1 in goals scored. I feel like they're just a better two-way team in general than Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's been relying heavily on their scoring. And other than line 1, I feel like the Islanders absolutely outmatch them on offense. The Tampa Bay line 1, I know we're looking at Kucherov, Palat, and Point. Is that right? Kucherov, Palat, and Point. Yeah. And then for the Islanders, you're looking at Barzal, Eberle, and Komarov, which honestly, I mean, you could call that even a little bit closer. But lines 2 through 4, I give all day to the Islanders. I think they're just a much deeper offense. Now, when you transition to the defense, you're talking a little bit more about Tampa. Same thing with the goaltending. I think that's where they have the check marks in the series. But, other than the first 10 minutes of that game, Tampa was just completely shut out. and they weren't playing very strong mentally. A lot of missed passes and a lot of really good forechecking from the Islanders in their own end and the offensive end. They were breaking up passes that Tampa was just trying to make over and over again. That led to, I think, the Barzell goal number 1, turnover on their own end at the blue line, goes right back the other way, buries it 5-hole while getting taken down by a defender. So it's going to be a really interesting series. In this next game, I'm just going to take the Islanders plus 1.5 because honestly, I feel like the money is just leading us to take Tampa in game 2. That should just be the easy pick. Like, the Islanders will be playing a little bit more relaxed. They've already got 1 win on the road. That's all they really needed was to split and then come home with the advantage. I don't think that's the case. I honestly feel like the Islanders are going to be really hungry in this one. It's going to be a close game, and I'm expecting our first overtime of the conference finals. I expect this one to be close. Give me a 2-1 victory either way. So I'm going with the Islanders at the plus 1.5 for a team, like I said, that's leading the playoffs in scoring, leading in goals against, and you're getting them to either win or lose by 1. I'll take it, and I'll sleep just fine. The over, it's really close because they're giving you a flat number. There's no hook. If it was at the 5.5, I'd probably take the under. At the 5 flat, I think there is a little bit more upside just because, maybe you're looking at like a 3-2 game and then you get an empty netter or something like that. But my gut's telling me we're going to the under regardless. So I'll still take that there. And that's paying plus money at plus 110. Again, I think they're just trying to chase us into that theme. Like, hey, this is Tampa's response game. They're going to score a lot. The Islanders will score a fair amount. So take Tampa in the over. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to take the Islanders to cover and the under in the game. How many games are we looking at, do you think, for the series?
I think in this one, I think you're probably looking at another 6-7 game series.
6, 7. Yeah, I mean, I think we'd like to see it, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we like to see. Again, really close hockey, really back and forth. And one thing I like to point out is both of these two teams are very well coached with Barry Trotz and John Cooper. And I think both of them have some tricks up their sleeve that are going to make this a long series.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. It should be entertaining. Like I said, you're getting a lot of scoring from the Islanders. Tampa, that's their whole identity. That's who they are. They're still, I think, number 3 in scoring in the playoffs. They're right there with the Islanders. Tampa is the number 1 power play. New York power play isn't great, but like I said, or penalty kill isn't great. But like I said, they're playing great 5-on-5. They're allowing the fewest amount of goals in the playoffs here. So what do we like as far as our odds for the actual finals, for the Stanley Cup finals? So right now we're looking at Tampa Bay versus Golden Knights paying plus 115. The Islanders versus the Golden Knights plus 135. Montreal versus Tampa plus 800. Wow. Islanders versus Montreal plus 850. Not that much difference there. Which one do you like the most?
If I'm gonna pick one here, I'm honestly, it's really hard. A lot of really close matchups, like we've been talking about. But I'm gonna go with the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Islanders on the plus 850. I know it sounds crazy, but I think we just talked about how the Islanders are matching up really, really well against this hot Tampa team. And then you have the Canadiens, too, who are going to put up a hell of a fight against that Golden Knights team. And I think that's definitely possible. And I think the plus 850 makes it a very attractive bet.
Oh, it's very attractive for certain. Some old-time hockey. Some Mike Bossy, huh? Some Mike Bossy, some Rocket Richard going old school with the Islanders and Montreal Canadiens. Hey, I don't hate it. It's just that the NHL doesn't want that at all. They want some people. They want people watching these games, and if it's not the Lightning and the Golden Knights, I don't think they're thinking they're going to get a big draw. I will go with the Islanders and the Golden Knights. I do think that there's, again, a lot of upside for the Canadiens to take down this series. The Golden Knights have just been a very good team all year long. Hey, and honestly, don't even listen to me. My bracket's busted, all right? I had Colorado and the Bruins in this one. Nick is probably more closer than I am, to be honest with you. But I do like the Islanders to come out. Give me six games there. The Golden Knights, same thing. Give me 7 games there. Within that, who do you like to win it all? So we got the Knights. I got Knights, Islanders. You've got Islanders, Canadiens. So, Islanders plus 325 to win it all. What do you think?
Yeah, give me the Islanders to win it all. Like you said, bringing it back to some old-time hockey. The Islanders, I think, are one of those teams. All these teams, except for Tampa, I think, no matter what, it would be really cool to see them come out and win the cup, because you've seen over the last few years, you've had the Chicago dynasty. Pittsburgh's won it, and it'd be nice to see a new team win it. So I'd like the Islanders, but any team except Tampa, I'm going for.
That says the guy who wore a Tampa jersey the last time on the show.
Oh, give me a break. It fit the room. Everything's blue in here. It's
Fair
just
enough. Hicks is in the chat asking for a shout out. He says he's trying to make the boys jealous. So give your best call. You know him better than I do.
Yeah. What's up, Donovan?
There you go. There's a shout out. I will take the Islanders at plus 325 as well. Like I said, they're rolling 4 lines deep. I like everything that they have to offer on each line. Everybody can score. Everybody can contribute on defense. Varlamov is one of my guys this year in fantasy. So if there's a bust to jump on, I guess that's the one that I'm taking. Give me the Islanders at plus 325. I'd like to root for the Golden Knights. I was big on Alec Martinez and Shea Theodore this year, but I think the Islanders are just a little bit deeper as far as offensive talent. In that matchup, even if it was the Golden Knights, I would still give the defensive upside to the Golden Knights, offense to the Islanders, and goaltending to Vegas as well. Pretty similar to this series with the Lightning and the Islanders. And it's just funny because the Islanders, they've been playing from behind in like every series. They are finally ahead of the number. They're going into game 2 up a game. Man, I could see them putting their knee on their throats in Tampa. I really feel like they could pull it off. So I'll go with the Islanders to win it all, plus 325. You name drop Barry Trotz. Big Nick Davis, he's always on the show giving love to Trotz, so I'll ride that direction as well. Let's go Islanders. All right. Next up, we're going to go into some of our award props for the year. We're going to start with the Conn Smythe Award. But before we do, please be sure to smash the like button, share the video, and follow us on youtube.com/Take It to the Hizzy. Let's go. Let's see. Curry's in here saying he's got Islanders in 7 and Vegas in 6. Yep, we like it. We like that a lot. Let's get back to it here. Conn Smythe Award. OZ, who you got? Leaders are Marc-Andre Fleury, Vasilevsky, and Semyon Varlamov. Are you taking a goalie or a forward or a defenseman?
If we were sticking with that Islanders pick, really hard here. I think you want to go Varley, and I think he's played a hell of a series. I think he's played some of his best hockey that he's played. But I think I'm going to go against that. I'm going to go with Matt Barzal. I think he's leading this team, and I think the young kid, he's putting the team on his shoulders, and it looks like that he can be in that contention, I think, if the Islanders can go all the way. And don't get me wrong, Varlamov's playing very, very good hockey, but I think if you're going to look offensively, I think Barzal's the guy.
You stole my pick. You stole my stinking pick. He's paying it plus 2,000. That's why I like it. And yeah, I like the deep shot here. So let me look for another Islander. Maybe Jean-Gabriel Pageau. He really steps it up. If I'm going to go with another Islander, it's got to be Varlamov. He's plus 400. But I love the Islanders. Love that they're rolling 4 lines deep. Matthew Barzal is at the center of their offensive production. They're number 1 in scoring in the playoffs, like I already mentioned as well. So I think there's a fair amount of upside for him and Varlamov. And as long as they take home the cup, of course. I don't see either of them winning it if they don't. Let's say we're wrong. Let's say the Islanders don't win it. Who's going to be the star for their team that's going to get it done? Are we looking at Fleury, Mark Stone, kind of a similar situation?
Yeah, I like Mark Stone, definitely. I'm definitely going to go Mark Stone on that. He's been arguably one of the best defensive forwards in the league, and I think he'll take that home. He's played some pretty crazy hockey in these playoffs, so Vegas takes it. Mark Stone's taking the Conn Smythe.
All right, yeah, I'll go opposite there too. I'll just take the goalie then. Yeah, I'd take Fleury. He's had some games where he's let in a lot of goals, but at the same time, there gets to a point where he just cuts it off. Like, all right, even in their last game up against Colorado, they were tied up 3-3. It was a back and forth game. Come the third period, he shut it down. He was in the zone. So I'll go with Fleury in that prop opposite of Mark Stone if Vegas were to take down the cup for the Conn Smythe. All right, just a couple of more here. We got the Jack Adams Trophy. We got 3 finalists in Rod Brindamore, Dean Evison, and Joel Quenneville. I got to go with Brindamore. Hurricanes were awesome this year. Didn't really have a ton of stars per se. I really feel like they would be in this position right now playing against the Islanders if they didn't get back Stamkos and Kucherov. You like Quenneville? You like Evison? What do you like here?
I like Brindamore. I like what he's done with the Hurricanes. But I like Everson on this one, honestly. I like what he's done with the Minnesota Wild, bringing them back up or bringing them up to the top. I think making them a contender. He's done a really good job here developing the skill, especially of guys like Kirill Kaprizov. And I think that he should take it home just because of the all-around work that he's done with that team. And even you look at some of their positions, like their goaltending, like Cam Talbot's, he's not like a star goalie who you think of that's going to be like the best goalie in the league. But I think he played like a star goalie in the first round of those playoffs against Vegas because they were getting shots on shots and shots against him, seeing 30, 40 shots a game. So I think him, along with the rest of the coaching staff, I think are a good candidate for the Jack Adams.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be tough just because the Wild weren't, a really big draw. Joel Quenneville has that recency bias because he's won a bunch of Stanley Cups with the Blackhawks. Brind'Amour, a prior player, has a lot of popularity. Brind'Amour's the favorite at -250, so I'm just going to ride with that. But I do like the points that you mentioned about Everson. Wild were a fun team to watch this year. I just felt like they got a lot of random play from some of their younger guys. Obviously, Kaprizov was a nice little surprise for them. Joel Eriksson Ek came out of nowhere, put up a ton of production, got some solid defense. Guys like Dumba. So I feel like just a lot of guys were able to step up. Maybe he was more involved in that than we can see as fans, but I do like Rod Brind'Amour to take that. But a lot of good points there for Everson. He's +275 if you guys are feeling it. Next up, we've got the Frank Selke Trophy. That's the best two-way player in the NHL. We've got Barkov -300, heavy favorite. Patrice Bergeron +250, always a live option. And then Mark Stone at +700. I'm going to rule out Stone here and just kind of flip a coin between Bergeron and Barkov, and hopefully it lands on Bergeron. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I think, I'm with Bergeron too. He's been consistently in the running for the Selke every year, and his production hasn't slowed down. And I think he'll take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bergeron. It's just like his award to win every year, until Jonathan Taves comes back and clocks in and puts in a decent amount of work. I think Barkov, it's a nice little story down there, but I just still see him as a more offensive player than anything. Is that crazy to say?
No, I think you're about right.
I just think he produces more on offense than he does on defense. Their defense is amazing in Florida. They were playing great all year. I don't necessarily say that he's a big part of it, but the resurgence of Florida. You see a couple more of these names in here: Quenneville, Barkov. Just trying to give him a little bit of love. Says that he's the big favorite, but I'm going to go with the upside of Patrice Bergeron. It's always his award to lose. Next up, we've got the Vezina Award, best goalie in the NHL: Vasilevsky, Fleury, Grubauer. Seen them a lot recently. Which way you going here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vasilevsky, but I'm gonna consider Philip Grubauer a close second. I think he did a really good job with his Colorado Avalanche team, and I think he did. He definitely stepped up. You saw in the playoffs. Fortunately, couldn't get the result against Vegas, but no, I think I'm gonna go Vasilevsky, but Philip Grubauer is right there.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Vasilevsky. It's kind of the same situation as Bergeron. It's his award to lose. I'd like to give it to Fleury, but I think that Vasilevsky, because they had, they're missing those two big pieces on offense, that's going to give them a little bit more upside. I mentioned Vegas, they allowed the fewest amount of shots on net in the playoffs. Wasn't the case in the regular season. I think they were top 5, but they've actually come down a couple of shots per game from their 27 per game total in the regular season. So I'm going to go with Vasilevsky because I think the argument could be made that the defense in front of Fleury allowed for less consistent work, less shots on net. So I'm going to go with Vasilevsky as well. Calder Memorial Trophy, it's pretty much a lock. It's going to be Kaprizov. I think we can move on beyond that one.
Yep.
James Norris Trophy for the best defenseman of the year. This is the last one. We got Adam Fox, Victor Hedman, and Cal Makar. Who you got?
Adam Fox, I think all day. He stepped up big time for that New York Rangers team, and he was just definitely the backbone of their defense, especially being a young kid. I think it builds more of a case for him to be able to win this. And Victor Hedman, I think don't get me wrong, he was a good defenseman as well as Cal Makar, but I think Adam Fox just had a little bit of an edge over them. So I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, Adam Fox has just put a better, a whole year together, right? Makar, he was hurt. Hedman, he has great players around him everywhere. He has Vasilevsky right behind him. So I feel like that there's kind of some cancellation there for Hedman. So I'm going to go Adam Fox as well. He is a heavy favorite at minus 300. I'd like to maybe put that together with a Andre Vasilevsky at minus 170 and get a little bit better value. So those are some prop opportunities you can take advantage of for some player awards. Pretty quick show tonight. We're just going to wrap this one up with some potential goalies for the Kraken for Seattle. We got our expansion draft coming up here soon. What available goalies do you like best to start a new franchise with? You're in the front office. You're working for the Kraken. It's your job to scout some goaltending for the future here. At least carry you for like the first maybe couple of these seasons, 3 to 4 years. We saw Vegas make a really early run with grabbing a guy like Fleury. What names out there do you like to potentially start an efficient expansion team? Right now we got Vegas in year 3, year 4, getting ready to make the finals potentially again as an expansion team. Who do you like?
I like Braden Holtby. I think his name has been out there for a while, ever since you heard about Seattle in this expansion draft. I've seen it all over social media, the Photoshop picture of Braden Holtby in the Kraken jersey, and I could see that happening. I think he's definitely a good fit. He has the experience, and he knows how to win a hockey game. And I think just being able to have someone that has a chance to win you a game or two during the year, I think will be a good pick for them.
All right. What do you think about resurgence of like a Brandon Holtby?
I think he can come back. I think he'll do good. I think he still has it in him.
Ilya Sorokin?
It's hard to tell with him if the Islanders are going to do something else with him, because they have a really good tandem over there. But I think if he does go over to the Kraken, I think he'll be very good. I wouldn't necessarily say he's ready to be their number one guy yet. I still think he should split time with another goalie just to develop his game more. But I think he would be a good fit at the Kraken.
Okay. I'm trying to think who else I like here. What do you think about John Quick?
John Quick, he's good. I think a good, decent goalie to start your franchise with. He is old. He's a veteran of the game. He's seen it all pretty much. He's won cups. And I think he would be good there. And I think if you have him with a guy like Ilya Sorokin, kind of like an older guy to lead the younger guy through the new experience, I think it would be a good thing for both of them.
Yeah, that's going to be my guy. John Quick, to me, has kind of those similar vibes I'm getting from like a Marc-Andre Fleury. Just a decent talent still, just in the worst situation possible. And there were some bright spots for him this year. We were talking about him in fantasy all year long as, a potential guy that you can just grab up for free on free agency, because the Kings just don't play that well. And they have Cal Peterson there, who I expect is going to be the goalie that they protect. Just let John Quick come off the books. Easy. You're saving money. You're transitioning to the future. The Kings are already a very young team, right? So I would love John Quick to be that guy and have that little resurgence at the end of his career, because I do think that he has something left in the tank. Kings, they were a profitable team this year, whether it was Peterson or Quick and net. They were covering spreads. They were winning some random matchups here and there. So I think that there's still some viability here for John Quick at the end of his career. I think he's about, 34 or something like that?
Yeah, right around 34, 35 years old.
Yeah, this year he was 11-9-2, again, on a bad team, but he only had 2.86 goals against. It's not bad. It's really not that bad. A couple other guys I like, Ville Husso. I like Ville Husso, and I like Chris from the Blues, the backup goalie behind Jordan Binnington. And I love that the Blues are stuck with that guy. I would love if they didn't protect him. Could you imagine that? Give him all that money, and then like, yeah, you know what? You're really not that good. And you kind of showed that after we gave you all that money.
Yep, not that guy.
Yeah, so I would love that, just, hating on the Blues. But Jonathan Quick is gonna be my guy. He's going to be my guy. All right. Well, unfortunately, this week we don't have any live games yet because we're starting 7:35 Eastern. So the game's going to be kicking off here in about 50 minutes or so. You're going to be watching the game. You do anything fun for it? Just chilling?
Yeah, just going to chill, watch the game. Really excited. I know our whole house is ready to watch the game. Because you already know, our mom is big Carey Price and I'm both Marc-Andre Fleury fan. So our household's really split up about this game, so I think it should be fun to watch.
Now I know why. Now I know why Dad said they were going to win 4-2. Sounds like Mom's on the under. In this episode, we had Lizzo in the show and DaBaby, so that was fun. All right. Take care. Be well, everybody. We will be back next Monday. Only got a few episodes left here with the finals rolling in. If you haven't already, please be sure to smash that like button, share the video, and follow us on youtube.com. Take it to the Hizzy. Let's go. Take care. Be well. We'll see you next time. Be good. And if you can't be good at it. We'll see you later.